So, I just finished rewatching Batman from 1989, and this movie means a lot to me. Welcome to DC Doom, the series where I watch and review every DC film and television show on my quest to become the world's most prolific reviewer. It's actually the first comic book movie I ever saw. I still remember my mom renting a VCR and this movie for Christmas. If you're old enough to remember video rental stores, you know that sometimes you didn't just rent the movie, you rented the VCR too. I watched it with one of my cousins, then later we owned it on VHS, and I must have watched it 6 or 7 times growing up. More than 30 years later, I've watched it again, and I think that I appreciate it even more now. So, does Tim Burton's Batman still hold up? Let's talk about it. First, we're going to talk about the story of the movie. Unlike many superhero movies today, Batman doesn't begin with Bruce Wayne's full origin story. Instead, the movie focuses just as much on Jack Napier, the gangster who eventually becomes the Joker. Napier works for Gotham crime boss Carl Grissom, played wonderfully by Jack Palance, but he's also secretly having an affair with Grissom's girlfriend. Needless to say, Grissom isn't thrilled. So he sets Napier up. During a raid at Axis Chemicals, Batman intervenes. In the chaos, Napier falls into a vat of chemicals, survives, and after botched reconstructive surgery, emerges as the Joker. One interesting thing about this version is that the movie makes Jack Napier the man who killed Bruce Wayne's parents. That's not comic book canon, it was an invention for the film, but it creates a much more personal conflict between Batman and the Joker. From there, Joker murders Grissom, takes over Gotham's criminal underworld, and begins terrorizing the city with Smilex, a deadly toxin hidden inside ordinary cosmetic products that leaves victims with a grotesque smile. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne starts a romance with photojournalist Vicky Vale while secretly trying to stop Joker before Gotham's bicentennial celebration turns into a massacre. The finale, set atop Gotham Cathedral, remains one of the most memorable superhero climaxes ever filmed. Alright, let's talk about Tim Burton's Gotham. One of the biggest strengths of this movie is its visual style. Tim Burton created a Gotham City unlike anything audiences had seen before. It feels modern yet strangely timeless. People wear trench coats and fedoras. The buildings look like enormous Gothic cathedrals mixed with industrial factories. The city itself almost feels alive. Production designer Anton Furst won the Academy Award for Best Art Direction for his work on the film, and honestly, it's easy to see why. Gotham is practically another character. Some critics have accused Burton of putting style ahead of substance throughout his career, but I actually think this version of Batman strikes a really good balance. Yes, there are moments that exist purely because they look cool, like Batman steering the Batwing so its silhouette forms the bat symbol against the moon. Does it make any logical sense? Not really. But it looks incredible, and sometimes that's enough. All right, let's talk about another factor that makes this movie really great, which is the music. So most people immediately think about Prince when they remember Batman's soundtrack, and his songs Bat Dance, Party Man, and Trust are used throughout the film, and became huge hits, and they do work really well in the film. But the real star for me is Danny Elfman's score. The main Batman theme has become just as iconic as John Williams' Superman theme. The moment you hear those opening notes, you instantly know what movie you're watching. It's dramatic, it's mysterious, it's heroic. Honestly, I think it's one of the greatest superhero themes ever written, up there with this Superman theme, which is up there with the Star Wars theme. Like, great, great soundtrack. All right, now let's talk about Michael Keaton as Batman. So, this is probably known to everybody, but when Michael Keaton was cast, fans of Batman were furious at the time. He was mostly known for comedies like Mr. Mom and Burton's own Beetlejuice. Warner Brothers repeatedly received thousands of complaint letters questioning the casting. But today, it's almost impossible to imagine anybody else in that role of this version of Batman. Keaton perfectly balances Bruce Wayne's awkwardness with Batman's intimidating presence. He's serious without becoming boring. He's funny without becoming campy, although there are great camp moments in this movie. Even now, I think he's one of the greatest live-action Batmen. I mean, for this movie, maybe not in The Flash or something like that. Okay, let's talk about Jack Nicholson now, because obviously he is the co-star. He steals the movie. As good as Keaton is, Jack Nicholson absolutely steals this film. His Joker is funny. He's theatrical. He's unpredictable, but underneath all that flamboyance is someone genuinely terrifying. This isn't a criminal with a grand political philosophy. He isn't trying to prove a point. He calls himself the world's first fully functioning homicidal artist. He's part gangster, part chemist, part performance artist, and you never know what he's going to do next. One moment he's dancing through an art museum while Prince plays in the background, defacing the art, of course. The next, he's casually murdering somebody with a poisoned hand buzzer. One detail I've always found fascinating is his relationship with Bob the Goon. Bob is completely loyal, like all of Joker's henchmen, surprisingly. They really love the guy. He genuinely likes the Joker, and he supports him. It's great, which makes it even more shocking when Joker kills him without hesitation near the end of the movie. It reminds you that underneath all of the jokes is somebody completely incapable of valuing human life, and that's what makes him terrifying, even though he is one of the last, probably. He is like a true camp character, but he is terrifying. All right, let's talk about the Batmobile. This movie also helped establish something that would become a tradition in Batman films. Everyone wanted to see the new Batmobile. The 1989 Batmobile is probably still my favorite. Is it practical? Absolutely not. Is it ridiculously long? Absolutely yes. Do I still love it? Absolutely yes. It's awesome. I mean, it's great. The Batwing also is fantastic. And even though people love to joke about Batman not being able to turn his head because of the rubber cowl, I actually think it makes him look even more intimidating. The costume kind of mandated that style. And in the beginning, it's not known in the criminal world like he's a person. So in the darkness, you can understand why Gotham's criminals think he's some kind of monster. Because he looks like a monster. He doesn't move in a human way. All right, let's talk about a few of the things that don't work in this movie, because the movie isn't perfect. I really like it, special place in my heart and all, but it's not perfect. Vicky Vale is probably the weakest major character. Kim Basinger does a good job with the material she's given, but the romance develops incredibly quickly. Bruce and Vicky basically fall in love after only a couple of days. Then she's gone by the next movie anyway, so does it really matter? Some of the visual effects have also aged. A few shots involving Batman's cape and shadow clearly show the limitation of late 1980s effects, but honestly, none of these issues ruin the experience. Let's talk about the legacy of this film, because it is a huge legacy of the film. See, and it's hard to overstate how important Batman was. Before 1989, Hollywood didn't really treat comic book movies as blockbuster events, probably because of what happened with the Superman franchise. Big first few films and then collapse. Batman changed all of that. It became the first film to earn over $100 million in its first 10 days of release in the United States and helped launch the modern era of superhero merchandising and marketing. Like, modern era, but it was like 30 years ago, so not modern anymore, I guess. The famous black and yellow Bat logo was everywhere. In 1989, t-shirts, posters, toys, lunch boxes. You still see it today in merch, like, see my mug? It wasn't just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon. All right, let's wrap the review up with my final thoughts. So, does Batman still hold up? For me, absolutely yes. It's still an awesome movie. It's very different from Christopher Nolan's trilogy, and I don't think it's fair to judge it by those standards, not because it's so old and stuff, but no, the movie's not trying to be realistic. It's trying to be a dark comic book brought to life, and that's exactly what happens. It succeeds brilliantly at the task it's given itself. And even after all these years, Tim Burton's Batman remains one of the defining superhero movies ever made. If you've somehow never seen it and you're a fan of comic book movies, I genuinely think it's essential viewing. I'd easily put it among the greatest DC movies ever made. I mean, that's not a long list, but it's up there. And honestly, I'll probably be still watching it until the end of my life because it's such a great movie. All right. Thank you for listening to my review. My name is Adam. I'm trying to be the most prolific reviewer of all time. And to do that, I need your help, of course. If you like this review, please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Excuse me. I'm trying to get to 30 subscribers by the end of July. We're at 23, so we can do it. I believe in you all. Yeah, but only if you like it. I think you can't really ask people to subscribe to things that they don't like. So if you like it, and if you're really interested in this movie, if you like this movie like I did, please leave your thoughts in the comments section down below. That really helps out the algorithm as well. All right, thank you and have a nice day. Bye-bye.